The tension in this building is undescribable. If you're not here, I'd imagine around the world is... All
right, so we're going to do a different kind of video today, and I want you guys to comment and let me know if you like it, because if you do, I will do many more of them, because this is a fun format. You know, I don't have a podcast partner like Michael Bisping and his boy, who is hilarious, by the way. At least I don't yet. But getting to interact with something else, this is solid. You know, I can only tell so many stories before people are like, geez, is this another story of him, you know, getting cheated on or fighting some random dude? So if you like this format, please comment. And either way, subscribe to the channel, click the bell, all of those things. But today I am going to react to a video that someone sent me. I only watched the very beginning of it because they told me what it's going to say, because this is something that I said to Chael Sonnen in Chael Sonnen fan questions, and he disagreed with me.
Or looks like the division has been saved.
Okay, I have a question. So this is my theory on the Conor versus Cerrone fight. I think that Conor, in the entire build-up, was trying to build up to get the fastest knockout ever. I think he was trying to one-up Masvidal, and I think he did that with a multiple strategied approach. Okay, I think he picked Cowboy because Cowboy's a weak starter. I think he picked Cowboy because he knew the best way to approach him to get the mental edge was to be friendly. He knew he needed to be friendly to wash off some of the scandals that he had sitting on top of him. And I think that he believed the friendlier he was to Cowboy going into that match, the more likely Cowboy was to come out of the gates without his guard up, most likely for Conor to put that first shot through his face. Now, if Conor lands that first punch, what human being is going to be awake? Answer, Francis Ngannou, maybe? I mean, the majority of human beings on Earth, if they eat that shot square, are unconscious, without a doubt. And I think that Conor picked Cowboy for that reason. I think he behaved the way that he did, as friendly as possible for that reason. And I think all of it was leading up, in his mind, to potentially get the fastest knockout ever and one-up Masvidal. That's my theory. What do you think?
Okay, you could not be any further from the truth.
But I was right, because this video is going to prove that. By the way, this is Beyond the Game TV. If the first 2 minutes of this video are any indication, this is rock solid content. I'm going to go ahead and link to their channel and to this particular video in the description. So if you want to watch it without me talking over it, you feel free to do that after this. But I am going to talk way over this thing right now because, you know, that's just kind of what I do. So let's dive into this thing and see how correct or incorrect they are, or more likely how well this bolsters my position that I said to Chael. Let's go now.
The tension in this building is undescribable.
Oh man, I was so nervous, dude.
It feels pretty tense wherever you may be.
If you're a real Conor McGregor fan, you were tripping right now. I was surprised. I bet on him to win by first round knockout. I was as confident in that bet as I've ever been. But the implications of him losing were so gigantic.
Cowboy lost the fight. You might think that this is a missed opportunity by McGregor, but in reality, it's one of the last steps of an almost perfectly executed plan that had been going on for months. So
okay, that's true, but also it was a missed opportunity by Conor, because what my position is that all of this psychological warfare that he's going to lay out was all in preparation for Conor getting the fastest knockout in history and beating Jorge Masvidal's record, because it was all that Jorge and Conor stuff.
Being a better fighter, the reason why he won the fight? I don't believe so. Was Cerrone paid off or bought by either the UFC
Ridiculous.
or
ridiculous.
McGregor?
He was definitely not paid off, because if he was, you wouldn't have Conor knock him out in 40 seconds.
There's always somebody who has an opinion. People are going to say that Cowboy was shot, which is
ludicrous
bullshit.
I don't believe that Donald Cerrone was paid off in the literal sense of the term, but I do think that money had something to do with what happened. Let me explain. First of all, Donald Cerrone, okay,
so he's going to say that because Donald was making more for this fight, that was part of Conor's psychological warfare. I'm going to actually talk over this part because this part's nonsense, okay? This is not something that Conor needs to implement from a strategy standpoint, okay? People fight Conor, they make more money if they're in the main event, right? Now, if you hold a belt and you fight Conor and you get a piece of the pay-per-view, or big piece of the pay-per-view, or you're Nate Diaz or you're someone who's negotiated that, then you get a lot of dough. But Again, not something Conor can control from person to person. And the whole thing that I think is that Conor intentionally was super different with Cowboy than he is with other guys for more reasons than he just needed good PR.
How great would that be? That obviously puts a smile on your face and makes you very happy about life. And that is step one.
Yep, so he's happy he's going to make more money. But now, let's watch this.
Making comfortable, making love life. And then you let him fight at 170. That makes him happier.
Thanks for 170. That was fucking good. Yeah, appreciate that. So yeah.
Conor also wanted to fight at 170.
Hang out, play with the boy, and go have some fun on Saturday.
And then, even more so a surprise, McGregor is super nice to Conor.
This is psychological warfare.
Donald. My God. I gotta give credit where credit is due. You know what I mean? I don't know whether you've outdone me. I've got lions on the inside of my baby here, you know what I mean? But that's a damn good coat, brother. What is it now? Was it crocodile or?
It's Python.
Python, good man.
I'm sure Peter might be in the
Python, good man. We're best buddies. And then I'm going to punch your face off in 1 second as soon as the bell rings.
It's a good skin, but you know yourself.
I mean,
5 months before, there's not
Come
much
on.
you can do. But in the week of, you would think that someone like Conor would come up with some sort of zingers and arguments to sort of, you know, play with his mind a little. But Conor didn't do that. He was.
it's because Conor knows
He was shaking his hand every time.
the way you
he had a
mind
chance to do it.
break
He was
Cowboy
very friendly
is by being nice.
the whole week.
You know, maybe I am playing a little psychological game with Donald, a little internal one,
You
or
think?
a subliminal one.
And that can only do one thing, which is put Cowboy even more so at ease than he already is.
That face.
So the whole fight week,
I'm going to get my
Cowboy
head
and
kicked
Conor
in.
have this friendship, this bromance, if you will, building up. They're friendly, they're having fun, they're
I mean,
respecting
listen,
each other,
Cowboy's a
they're
good
liking
dude,
each other,
so
they
I
even
don't even take
defend each
pleasure
other.
in the fact of knowing that Conor was manipulating him this entire time. Actually, I do. I totally do. That's not true.
We're here to talk about a fight. Nothing he does.
Yeah, look at Cowboy defending his boy.
The rest of the week is fight questions, I promise.
So fast forward to the fight. What usually happens at the beginning of a
Touch
fight?
gloves.
Not every time. There's no rules about it.
Conor never does,
But
though.
what usually
For the
happens.
record, Conor never touches gloves before fights. Never.
That's what happens. The fighters touch gloves, and then the
Find a video of Conor doing that. You
It
won't.
doesn't always happen, but it surely does happen every time the two fighters respect each other. So if you're
Nope.
Donald Cerrone, the
It's
fight's
happened
about
every
to
time for
start.
Donald Cerrone.
Everybody's been nice to you. Conor's been super nice to you. He's been
Yep.
super friendly, super respectful.
He's gonna punch your
Of course
face
you're
off.
going in there with the intent of touching gloves. This guy made you rich. This guy made you famous. This guy gave you the best week of your life. He even gave you financial security for you and your kids.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're in that mindset, the referee gives the signal, and what does Conor do? He suddenly flips the
He was
switch
already
and turns
halfway
into
across the
Kaiser
octagon
freaking
before
Soze,
they even said go.
making Cowboy and everybody else watching suddenly realize that the Good Boy Act was all with a purpose in mind.
100%.
And that purpose was this exact moment, where Cowboy lets his guard down, expecting to touch gloves.
Trying to get the fastest
while Conor
knockout
makes
ever.
the most of it by going for the knockout.
I did come out and I let that left hand go from the chamber.
Why did he do that? Well, let's look at it this way. What are the defining moments of Conor's career?
Black trunks for the champion.
Come get it, Jose.
Aldo Jr. Conor relaxed and smiling. Oh! Just like that! Conor McGregor is the new UFC featherweight champion of the world!
Beating someone in 13 seconds was a huge accomplishment. Especially
Jorge's there
So when
in
you go
his
through there and you look at
Versace
what happened after with
nightgown or whatever.
And you look at moments like
Yep,
that.
that's what he was going for. He's trying to beat
and
that
they get
right
a lot
there.
of attention because they're so short that they've been played in full all around social media. So you look at moments like this and you're Conor McGregor and you're thinking, I want another moment like
Yep.
that. Actually, you know what? I want a better moment.
This is so
I'm gonna
dead on.
knock
This is
someone
so
out in like 4
right.
seconds. How do I do that? Obviously, that fight to you starts way before the actual fight. It starts with head games. It starts with putting your opponent in the mindset that you want him to be.
I've been planning it all week, son.
Only to make sure that when Cowboy would show up in the octagon, his mindset would be all about, we're friends, we respect each other, it's going to be a clean match.
This is so, I love this.
Happen. And it's that mindset that McGregor expected when he flipped the switch, jumped at him. Fortunately for McGregor,
oh my gosh,
the left missed.
If he would have landed that punch.
But he's a good enough fighter that he had a few other tricks up his sleeve.
Conor McGregor announces his return with about as many style points as you could produce.
What's the lesson here? Never trust McGregor, whether he's in the
Never trust McGregor.
So on that note, if you want to have a look at the whole fight.
That's it. Okay, check this out. That is so dead on. That is so dead on. And on top of which, let me add another little layer to that. So yesterday, Cowboy came out and said that, you know, he's like, man, I just didn't even want to be there. You know, like, I just didn't even want to be there. He, in the Brett Okamoto interview, he's like, you know, I knew like 2 days before, like, all the eyes are on me and I don't even want to be here. And I'm watching that. I'm like, he still is totally oblivious to this. Why do you think you didn't want to be there? It's because Conor softened you up. Like, he just turned you into a marshmallow, okay? This game ain't for marshmallows, right? Now, I'm not saying Cowboy's a marshmallow. Cowboy is a gangster, but Cowboy's weakness is that he is such a good, friendly guy. Like, he's a good dude, man. Like, I could tell you for sure, if me and Cowboy ever were in the same place, we would be boys. And that's how everyone feels with Cowboy. But the problem with that for him is that he fights better when he's not like that. And that's why he's a slow starter. You know, you do all this press with guys. I mean, listen, unless you're a maniac or a surgical, psychological warfare tactician, being around guys who share all of the same things. I mean, your life is fighting. Their life is fighting, right? You have so many of the same interests and you're in the same place with them all the time. Unless you make a point to be one of these guys that's kind of like creating beef, it's going to be hard not to have some kind of affinity for the other guy, at least a little bit. And, you know, for Cowboy, he doesn't fight as well that way. I mean, some guys can just turn it on and off, and Cowboy's not one of them. And Conor knew that, and Conor softened him up to where Cowboy is like, I mean, you also got to understand, there's a level of getting starstruck with Conor now. He's such a gigantic star, even among the UFC guys. Like, I saw a video of Conor coming into the UFC Performance Center, and there was a young fighter there, and Conor asked him, he's like, oh, so you were in the UFC? And the guy's like, yeah, my 135 division. And I just thought to myself, I was like, that's how high Conor is now, that these are like guys who are in the UFC are nobodies to him. You know what I mean? Like, to me, anybody who's in the UFC, I'd be like, oh shit, man, tell me about your career. Where are you at? Like, anybody who gets in the octagon, they're a big deal to me, you know? And to Conor, meeting them, same as meeting me. Or meeting someone who doesn't even talk about the sport. They're nobodies to him. So, like, Conor, you know, Cowboy's like starstruck. He meets Conor, and Conor's like his new best friend, complimenting him on his python skins. And Cowboy's like, man, this guy is much cooler than I thought he was going to be. I thought maybe he'd be mean. Hey, don't ask questions about that sexual assault thing that happened. Don't ask questions about that. Let the man do his interview. Jeez, he's my best friend. And Conor's just burrowing into his mind. It's genius. And he was going for the fastest knockout ever, because that's what my position was when I sent the question to Chael. So that's what I got. Please subscribe to the channel. Love my stuff. Like it, love it, and tell your friends. Thank you guys. Later.